It was supposed to be a perfect day, a day of glory, a day where Connor Zilisch would stand tall in victory lane, soaking in the cheers after dominating at Watkins Glen. He led most of the race, drove like a man on fire, and pulled off his 6th Xfinity win of the season. The fans were on their feet, shouting his name. He had done everything right. He parked his number 88 Chevrolet and climbed out to celebrate, just like we've seen so many drivers do before. But in one horrifying moment, that celebration went from joy to disaster. As Zilisch stepped up to get a better view, maybe to wave to the crowd, or just take it all in, his foot got caught in the window netting. And just like that, everything changed. He slipped, lost his balance, and came crashing down from the side of the car. He hit the pavement hard, really hard. You could hear the gasps from the crowd as medics rushed in. It was like watching a balloon pop in the middle of a party. Everyone was having a good time, and suddenly, silence. What was supposed to be a moment of celebration turned into something out of a nightmare. Even with the pain screaming through his body, Connor Zilisch tried to make light of it. On the Door Bumper Clear podcast later, he shared what he said on the stretcher. "God, everyone's going to think I'm a bleep," he joked. He was half laughing, trying to keep the mood from getting too heavy. But no one was really laughing. Doctors confirmed he had broken his collarbone. The injury wasn't just painful, it was serious. He wouldn't be racing in the Cup Series event. One moment he was king of the track, the next he was sidelined, taken away on a stretcher. Just like that, everything he'd worked for came to a stop. And here's where it gets even more dramatic. The very next day, Shane Van Gisbergen, SVG, won the Cup race at the same track. And this time, when he pulled into victory lane, you could feel the difference. No wild jumps, no climbing up on the roof. He took his time, climbed out slowly, carefully. His team even joked online about it, and Zilisch replied with a facepalm gif. It was funny, sure, but everyone knew what it really meant. SVG wasn't just being cautious for the sake of it. He knew exactly what could happen if things went wrong. And more than that, he knew the pain Zilisch was about to face. Why? Because SVG had been there. In 2021, Shane had a nasty mountain biking accident. He broke his collarbone and fractured 3 ribs right before the Sandown Super Sprint. He needed surgery and had a metal plate put in his shoulder. But this is SVG we're talking about. He missed only one weekend and came back like a machine, winning from 17th place and taking the championship that year. He didn't just win races, he powered through pain. And now, after Zilisch's fall, he offered support. SVG said, "A plate can make the bone even stronger, but seatbelts can be painful." He added that with good doctors and medicine, Zilisch could be back soon, and he made it clear he was thinking about him. This wasn't just sympathy, it was real battle-tested advice from someone who'd lived it. It wasn't just feel better soon, it was I've been there, I made it through, so can you. And that meant something. In racing, most people only see the wins, the burnouts, the trophies. But SVG knew what it felt like to sit in pain, to question whether you'll ever race again, and to push through anyway. But not everyone was as understanding. NASCAR analyst Steve Letarte had some strong opinions about the weekend. He didn't just talk about the fall, he pointed fingers. He blamed both Zilisch and SVG for pushing too hard, for leaving the track and using too much of the runoff areas in key corners. He was frustrated. He said NASCAR had already tried to stop this by adding rumble strips in Turn 1, but drivers were ignoring them. And when you ignore the rules long enough, Letarte said, something will go wrong. In his mind, this crash wasn't bad luck. It was the result of letting dangerous habits slide all weekend long. Letarte's comments hit a nerve. It wasn't just about Zilisch falling off a car. It was about how NASCAR lets drivers push the limits. And if nothing changes, what happened to Zilisch could happen again. The weekend at Watkins Glen had started as a celebration, but by the end, it felt like the whole sport had been shaken. Connor Zilisch's fall wasn't just a freak accident, it was a wake-up call, a warning. It showed how fast things can change in NASCAR. 1 second you're lifting the trophy, and the next, you're flat on your back, staring at the sky, wondering how bad the damage is. For fans watching at home and in the stands, it was shocking. For drivers, it was a reminder. The danger isn't only on the track during the race, it's waiting everywhere, even in victory lane. And yet, in the middle of all that chaos, Shane Van Gisbergen's quiet moment spoke louder than any post-race burnout. When he climbed out of his car slowly, carefully, it wasn't just for laughs or to play it safe. It was a message. A message to Zilisch, to NASCAR, to everyone watching. He understood what Zilisch had gone through, and he respected the risk. He wasn't going to let his own celebration become the next headline for the wrong reason. Even in victory, he showed restraint, wisdom, and maybe even a little fear. And in a sport built on speed and bold moves, that kind of caution can feel rare. What SVG did wasn't flashy, but it meant something. It showed he wasn't just a winner. He was a leader. Someone who's been hurt, fought back, and knew exactly what it takes to heal. His words to Zilisch weren't empty. He reminded everyone that recovery takes more than just time. It takes patience. It takes knowing when to push and when to stop. It takes trusting your body and listening to the doctors. A plate can make the bone even stronger, he said, but seatbelts can be painful. That's not just advice, it's experience, hard-earned and honest. Meanwhile, Zilisch was left watching from the sidelines. After the race, he posted messages thanking the medical team and the fans for their support. He said he was determined to bounce back. And you can believe him. He's one of the fiercest young drivers in the game. But here's the hard truth. He's facing a serious test now. Rushing back too soon could hurt his long-term health, but waiting too long could ruin the momentum of a breakout season. That's the brutal choice drivers have to make, and no one can make it for them. Then there's Letarte, still sounding the alarm. His criticism of Watkins Glen wasn't just about Conor and SVG. It was about a growing pattern. Drivers cutting corners, pushing the track limits, running wide in dangerous spots, and getting away with it. NASCAR had tried to stop it. They put down rumble strips. They warned teams, but nothing changed. Letarte said what many were already thinking. This was a disaster waiting to happen. And now that it had, would NASCAR finally listen? The entire weekend was a roller coaster. Zilisch went from domination to devastation in the blink of an eye. SVG pulled off a smart, controlled win, but had to tiptoe through the celebration like he was walking on ice. Letarte demanded accountability. Fans went from cheering to gasping. And through it all, the same question kept coming up. How much risk is too much? That's what makes NASCAR so thrilling and so dangerous. Every race is a gamble. Every corner, every celebration, every step outside the car, it all carries risk. But when the spotlight shines bright, it's easy to forget that. It's easy to get caught up in the moment and think nothing can go wrong. That's what happened to Connor Zilisch. And now, he's paying the price. But if there's any silver lining, it's that he's not alone. He's got the support of fans, teammates, and veterans like Shane Van Gisbergen, who've walked the same road before. Watkins Glen 2025 will be remembered for a lot of things. For Zilisch's fall, for SVG's smart celebration, for Letarte's fiery words. But more than that, it'll be remembered as a turning point. A moment that reminded everyone, fans, drivers, NASCAR itself, that the danger doesn't end when the checkered flag flies. Sometimes, the real drama begins after the race is over. So now it's your turn. Should NASCAR do more to enforce track limits? Should drivers think twice before celebrating on their cars? And most importantly, how do we make sure moments of victory don't end in pain? Let us know what you think in the comments. Because one thing's for sure, this story is far from over.